Everything I'm about to tell you is checkable. Notice that nobody is arguing with me this week, has even bothered to look it up. They're just going off of feelings.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everydayers? I'm Stephen Willis. Welcome back to Locked On Ole Miss. Yet it happened again. Once again, people in LSU are trying to justify what they're doing because of Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss. It's amazing. They want to burn down college football because they're jealous of Trinidad Chambliss because it's not a rivalry. They want to rush the field 3 times in 10 years after beating Ole Miss, but it's not a rivalry. Okay, guys. We'll just let you have that one. Sure, Jan. They keep pointing at Trinidad Chambliss to justify what LSU is doing. So today I'm going to tell you exactly what the case is actually about, and it isn't what anybody's saying. Then I want to talk about the argument itself because I've been having it all week with people, and something has started to bother me. The intellectual dishonesty of this whole thing is ridiculous. And then something fun to close it out. The Locked On Top 100 list is out. I voted in it, and Ole Miss has 2 of the top 8 players in the country. We're 9 days away from the Louisville Cardinals, so let's get started on that. Listen, this wasn't a loophole. It was a filing cabinet. And let's start with the governor of Louisiana because he said something this week that I need to take apart. I just do. Jeff Landry called the SEC's decision ridiculous. And his argument, which is the same one that Lane Kiffin has been making publicly, by the way, he went on the Pat McAfee show the other day, is that the courts granted eligibility to other players and the SEC lived with it. Okay, that's a crazy argument to think of. Trinidad Chambliss was one of the names that they keep pointing out as justification for what they're doing. So why is LSU getting punished for following a court order too? Now, if you're not paying attention, that sounds like it would be a fair question. It's not. It's not even close. It is the most intellectually dishonest thing anybody has said in this fight and probably in the history of this rivalry. And since they want to use Ole Miss's quarterback as the example, let me rewind and tell everybody exactly what the case was about. And it was about a medical red shirt. That's it. 60-year seniors have been a part of college football for 50 years. This isn't a new thing. This isn't where college football got broken after 2020 when you started allowing ninth year. 60-year seniors is a normal thing. It just is. There were 60-year seniors when I was 5 years old going to game. Trinidad Chambliss got hurt at Ferris State. He had chronic tonsillitis that he had to have surgery on. That is a Division II school. He qualified for the medical red shirt there. He was going to get it. Nobody disputed it at the time, and that was 4 years ago. So here's where it went sideways. The documentation standards for a medical red shirt in Division II are different than Division I. It's not nearly as extensive because money reasons, likely. So Ferris State, doing exactly what Division II schools are required to do not keep the specific paperwork that Division I would need to grant a red shirt. That's the crux of this case, okay? So not because anybody did anything wrong, just because they weren't required to do it, and standards difference was a problem, and there's not many D2 players filing for a medical red shirt in D1. I get it, the whole thing. So then later, years later, he transfers up, and the NCAA looks at the Division II file, applies the Division I standard, and says the documentation is not here. And here's the part that should end this argument permanently, honestly. The NCAA admitted in open court that Chambliss easily qualified and cleared the bar for a medical red shirt at Ferris State. Easily. They conceded it. They said it out loud. Their position was never that he was not hurt or did not qualify. It was that the paperwork proving something everybody agreed on was no longer something that existed. This was not a loophole. It was a filing cabinet. Okay? And if you want to know whether he got this and invented this lawsuit so he could play an extra year at Ole Miss, go find the broadcast of the 2024 Division II National Championship game, Ferris State and Valdosta State. They talked about his medical red shirt on the air, on television, 2 years before any of this was a legal question and before anybody outside Big Rapids, Michigan knew who he was. So the red shirt was real. Okay? I get the fact that you don't want it to be because he's the good quarterback and he's going to likely beat a lot of teams. It was on a national broadcast. The NCAA agreed in court that he earned it. The only thing missing was the pieces of paper a division school was never obligated to keep. So now let's put that aside to what LSU did, the justification that they took from that to what they did. Daquan Wright signed a professional contract and was dressed out with the Cleveland Browns on Saturday. Xavier Harris signed with the New Orleans Saints. R.J. Lewis, junior basketball player, has been under contract with the Utah Jazz and the Boston Celtics. Those men left, went pro, took the money, and when it didn't work out, they want it back in and have a do-over. They wanted to hedge their bet. One is an injured college player trying to keep a red shirt that the NCAA agreed that he earned. The other is a request to unring a bell. They're not the same category. They're not the same thing, and it's the most intellectually dishonest thing ever when you start saying it is. Okay? And here's the thing that should settle this for anybody that is arguing in good faith. Now, I get the LSU fans doing the tribalism thing is going to do the tribalism thing. That's the reason. It just doesn't bother me. I don't care. But Judge Charlotte Sweeney issued the most athlete-friendly ruling in this entire fight. Her injunction is the door 100-plus athletes walked through this summer, and she specifically excluded athletes who had signed professional contracts. What? What are we talking about? This is the most generous judge in this whole thing drawing this exact line. Not the SEC, not Greg Sankey, not me. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know that people understand that are living in this false reality in Louisiana right now and going through there just trying to win at all cost. They don't realize what is happening here. And whenever that is the bar and we're having that discussion, things change just a little bit. I'm really nervous about which direction it could go. But I will say this for LSU fans that are watching this, keep talking about Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss and all this. Keep bringing Ole Miss into this, and I'm going to rebut it every single time. And I will put red eyes on everything on the thumbnail because you gave me that opportunity. Whenever it's not a rival and you're justifying going through breaking college football because of Trinidad Chambliss, when you're rushing the field over and over, but it's not a rivalry. Okay, we got it. Yeah, it's definitely that Alabama rivalry of that team you can't beat. That's all right. All right, we're good. So one thing that is really interesting to go on this situation is, well, first of all, quick one, everydayers. Did you know that the Chambliss case was about a medical red shirt? People are going to say different things about it, but most people seem like they don't know. Put your answer down below, and thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports broadcast network. Listen, they're not disagreeing with the facts. They're having a feeling and working backwards, and that is a very, very dangerous thing. All right, today's podcast is brought to you by Loringo. It's known for enamel supporting gum, but now they're launching a nicotine-free pouch. And Loringo pouches are designed to provide clean focus while supporting enamel at the same time. Each pouch contains 50 milligrams of caffeine plus L-theanine and alpha GCP for smooth, steady focus without the energy crash. And because it's a Loringo product, every pouch also contains nanohydroxyapatite, a mineral teeth are made of. So, Lorine pouches are pouches that swap out the nicotine and give you the clean focus and support your enamel needs the whole time that they're in. So, they come in mint, cinnamon, and mango, making it easy to find the flavor that fits into your daily routine. Listen, I chew the gum fairly religiously, honestly. It's so good. It's very minty. It's kind of a double mint thing, you know. So when you chew it, and you can actually feel it a little bit working on your teeth and your gums, and it tastes really good. Now, I will see. I got a bunch of good stuff that I'm working through from Loringo, but we'll see. Loringo sent me the pouches and all that, so I'm a fan. I do use it in the car and before recording because it's kind of easy to work into my routine. I can tuck one in, keep doing what I'm doing, and I really like that it gives me smooth energy and focus without feeling jittery. So give Lorene a try. Right now, Loringo is offering listeners 50% off. Buy Lorene.com/lockedoncollege. That's buy Lorene, BUYLARINE.com/lockedoncollege for up to 50% off. And support for today's show also comes from Wayfair. Whether you're refreshing one room or getting ready for the new season or finally replacing that piece of furniture that you've been putting off, Wayfair makes it easy to find something that fits your home, your style, and your budget. You can shop furniture and decor across a wide range of price points with quality materials and pieces designed to stand up to real life. And with Wayfair Verified, product specialists hand vet every product that they get their hands on through a 10-point quality inspection, through looking through things like materials, functionality, features, and even how long they take to build. So, if you're still trying to narrow down what to buy, Wayfair gives you plenty of real shopper feedback to work with. So you can browse more than 20 million verified 5-star reviews along with real customer photos and feedback to help shop with more confidence. Honestly, my biggest issue in the living room is it just felt unfinished. I had a couch, I had a TV, nothing that really tied the space together. I went to Wayfair and found this really simple modern coffee table with built-in storage, and it just brought everything there. I like that I could see reviews and customer photos, so I knew that it would look good in a real home, not just a staged photo. So once it arrived, it completely changed my room. It felt intentional instead of temporary. I recommend checking out Wayfair if you were trying to pull together a space without overthinking it. Join Wayfair Rewards today and get 5% back on every purchase and start saving on your next home upgrade. Head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Subscribe to the podcast on whichever audio podcast you're listening to and give it a 5-star review. It costs nothing but keeps all of this free. And get your daily Ole Miss fix completely ad-free by joining the Everydayer Club today. Start your 7-day free trial right now and get closer to your team without all of the interruptions. So click the link down in the show notes below or go to lockedonolemiss.supercast.com to claim your free trial. Also check out Ole Miss Hub. .com. All of the Locked On stuff is living there now, and that is just a really cool thing. I'm pretty excited about that. So let's move on to the next segment because, listen, this has been an exhausting week. It has been, and it's the toxicity of the Ole Miss LSU rivalry this specific year, because I do think after September 20th, it's going to die down a little bit. But as of right now, with about a month until kickoff, it's at a fever pitch. Nearly $1,000 get-in price or something like that on Game Time. It's ridiculous. And so I've been having these arguments with people because there's a group of water carriers in the LSU camp that just 100% is the 100% right thing. They've never done a wrong thing. They've never sidestepped the thing. And the other side of this, on the Ole Miss side, you have us that have seen this for 6 years and we know what actually is going on because we followed this. You're going through it for the first time. We've got 6 years of this. So we understand it pretty intrinsically. And that's one of the reasons that we kind of know how to needle in this situation, if we're going to be honest. So I want to talk about the argument itself when it comes to the Trinidad is the reason for the LSU people trying to do this, okay? Because it's kind of started to bother me. Everything that I told you is checkable. It is. It's facts. You can look it up. The Division II documentation standard is a fact. The NCAA's concession in open court is a fact. 2024 broadcast video is a fact. It's on video. Sweeney's exclusion of pro contract signers in her order, a fact. You can go look up every single one of them. And you can confirm it or prove me wrong, whatever you want to do. But here's what comes back at me. And you see it down in the comment section below all the time. And welcome to our board, LSU fans that come here every day. He's been in college for 6 years. Rules are rules. Everybody's cheating anyway. Oh, it's Ole Miss. Of course you're defending him. That type stuff. Those aren't facts. Those aren't close to facts. Those are feelings. Notice what's missing from all four of those. None of them's about the actual cause of what he got the red shirt for and got the year for. It wasn't just that, oh, he felt like he was treated unfairly. No. It was there. It was documented. He was entitled to it. It was the easiest case known to man. Not one person arguing with me this week has said, actually, the Division II standards is the same as Division I. Or nobody said the NCAA does not concede in court. Nobody has gone and found the broadcast and told me that's not what they say. Not one. They're not disagreeing with facts. That's the point. They're having a feeling about something, about an outcome, and working backwards from that. And to understand why, it feels wrong that a guy got a 6th year and the way he did it. I understand that. That feeling is real, and I'm not going to mock anybody for feeling that. But a feeling is not an argument, and it does not become one because a lot of people share it. Doesn't change an alternative reality in Louisiana about what happened in Pittsburgh, Mississippi. So if you want to beat what I just laid out, beat it. Go get the documentation standards, pull the transcript, find the broadcast. Heck, I'm man enough to admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong, but I don't think I am on this one. Because I watched the whole trial. I saw the whole thing with my own eyes. It isn't something that I heard from Heard. So what I'm not going to do, though, is treat vibes like a rebuttal. Whenever you come at Ole Miss with, oh, he's 26 years old, oh, he's all that, no, you don't know what you're talking about. At that point, you go directly into the I don't know ball category. If you want to have a discussion about it, we'll have a discussion about it. But if you want to be stupid about it, I'm going to let you be stupid about it. And I'm going to call you out on my show for being stupid about it. If the Chambliss ruling genuinely bothers you, okay? If you think a paperwork standard is a paperwork standard and rules are rules, fine. That's kind of actually a real position. And I would take that honestly. I disagree with it, but I understand it. But that's not what the LSU scheme was. What the LSU scheme was the equivalent of saying they should be allowed to rob a bank because somebody else got a parking ticket with a permit that they actually had. That's the comparison here. Yes, both of them are technically crimes. I guess squint really hard enough and you might be able to get them in the same paragraph. But nobody, being honest, thinks a missing Division II medical file on a signed NFL contract is the same argument. And that's exactly why the vote was 16-0, by the way. Even LSU voted to not allow professional athletes. Now, they abstained when they saw the penalties. It's like, oh no, yeah. because I do think that they were going to vote for it. Okay, we'll just do it. And then the penalties came out and they changed their mind real quick. One more thing, part of that penalty is you lose your voting rights, which means you're not going to be at the table when the conference decides maybe somebody like Tulane gets back into the SEC. So let me put a finer point on that. Maybe it's time that the SEC starts warming up Tulane. Because if these are the games that LSU is going to play, I think LSU might need to be removed from the SEC. That's my opinion on that for sure. And that is going to be the end of our Law and Order segment. All right, so real question, everydayers. What is the best argument against my position? Genuinely, give me the strong version below, and if it's good, I'll read the best one out loud. Remember, we're free and available on all the podcast apps and on YouTube, and a special hello to our everydayers who make the show what it is, your team every day. Ole Miss has two of the best 8 players in the country. Hey, that isn't me saying it. That is Locked On, even though I guess I did vote on it. Anyway, we'll talk about it in just a second. All right, let me tell you about 5 Hour Energy. If you got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all of the sugar. That's why Cotton Candy 5 Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgia flavor back in a whole new way. This is a classic cotton taste that you remember, but with a tasty caffeine boost and zero sugar. It's quick, it's easy to use, it's an easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I've always loved cotton candy, but I can't be eating sweets all day, not at this age. This is a perfect alternative. The flavor really does bring that throwback back, that fruity vanilla vibe, and it is surprisingly smooth. I like how convenient it is, true, like very small portable shots that I can grab anywhere I need a little bit of pickup. It's become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. So bring on the sweet with Cotton Candy 5 Hour Energy Shots, available now online at 5hourenergy.com or at Amazon. And let me tell you about Poncho. If you're like me, you basically live in game day gear throughout the football season. You're going to want to check out the Poncho and their new game day collection at Poncho's Outdoors. It's one of those things where it's a performance shirt, but it doesn't really look like a performance shirt. It just looks clean, sharp, and like something you would want to wear all day. Plus, you get to rep Ole Miss in style. That's always a good thing. And the best part, it is built for real life. Super lightweight, breathable, and comfortable enough that you can throw it on for a full day of tailgating, sitting in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, or just hanging out with the Tampa Bay Rebel Club and watching the game with your friends without ever feeling like you need to change shirts. That is what I really like, is you're not stuck with a one-size-fits-all situation either. You can dial in the fit with regular or slim or tall, plus short or long sleeves. And if you grab a team shirt between now and September 7th, that's the day after the Louisville game, you'll be covered by Poncho's Natty Bat Guarantee. If your team wins the college football national championship, Poncho will give you a full refund on your purchase, plus you get to keep the shirt. So that's what I do. It's breathable. It's comfortable. This is why I have made this shirt a go-to. Go to ponchooutdoors.com/lockedon and enter your email to get $10 off and free shipping with your first order. That's Poncho outdoors.com/lockedon. Head there and drop an email and you'll get $10 off and free shipping. And once you try one, you'll see exactly why I now have a closet full of them. All right, let's close it out with something fun. Okay, we've done the Law and Order stuff, and next week's game week is all going to get real. Not a lot of information's flowing out, and at least LSU keeps talking and keeps mentioning Ole Miss and gives me content for shows like this. So let's close with something fun, and I have a disclosure to make on the front end. I voted on this, okay? I was one of about 100 votes on this. The Locked On Podcast Network released its top 100 college football players for 2026. Every college host on the network votes, and I'm one of them. So take my analysis of it with whatever you want, with a grain of salt, whatever you think it deserves. But Ole Miss got 4 players on it, okay? And on our hits today, we're going to be going through them individually and talking about them a little bit more. But here, we're going to talk about it. Ole Miss had number 6 on the list, the 6th-rated player in college football, Trinidad Chambliss. Number 8 is Kewan Lacey. Number 22 is Will Eccles. And number 97 is Suntarine Perkins. Now, let me tell you what jumps out to me, okay? Ole Miss has 4 of the top 8 players on the list. 2 in the top 8, I should say. Chambliss at 6 and Lacey at 8. Texas has 3 in the top 10, which is more, and they earned it, kind of, you know. But 2 out of 8, that's really good. I'm not going to sit here and say that and cry about an AP poll or anything like that. The ranking and all that is fair, but the real difference between where a team is ranked and where it's going is where its best players are ranked. And the gap worth understanding is Trinidad Chambliss and Kewan Lacey is 6 and 8. They have an advantage over just about everybody in college football because of that backfield. They also had Will Eccles at number 22. He came in with those players. Xavier Atkins, by the way, is a good player. I think he's underrated, has a chance to really shoot up the list. And finally, you have Suntarine Perkins at number 97. Like I said, we're going to talk about these on the hits as it goes. I'm interested to see what they go. Suntarine Perkins was the Chucky Mullins Award Courage Award winner. I do think 97 is too low. I'm going to get to that point with the hits as well. We'll see exactly how it goes. But Louisville is in 9 days. 9 days from today, they will take the field. I'm really excited to see which direction they are going to go there. And thanks again. Let's see. Here's the deal, everydayers. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. 9 days to Nashville. Season preview drops tomorrow. I'm going to do a season preview morning episode tomorrow. Before you go, where should Suntarine Perkins been on the list? Give me a number. And today, what the Chambliss case was actually about and the 4 responses that never touch it. And the top 100 list with 2 of the best 8 players in America wear Ole Miss's colors. Season preview tomorrow. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you then. And if you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Ole Miss ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head to lockedonolemisssupercast.com. For those of you on video, we're going to send you on over to the first ever National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you find a second listen. Locked On SEC, Locked On College Football, Locked On Bets. Subscribe, hit the bell, all of that stuff. Drop a comment. And, of course, we will see you in the season preview tomorrow, Everydayers. Hotty toddy.